Hey everyone, what's going on? So the other night I was listening to the Gematria effect, and somebody from Iowa called in and asked Zach about the connections between the royal family of England and how it was connected to the Jesuits. And it just stuck out to me a lot because I'm from Iowa, and I've also covered a ton of stuff about the Jesuits and a ton of stuff about the royal family over the years, so it just inspired me to make this video, and hopefully this person will see it. If not, no big deal. But they are absolutely related, and I'm going to explain some of the history here in a minute, but all of it was just created. You know, even like the Church of England was created, and people think that the Church of England and the Catholic Church aren't connected, but honestly, in my opinion, they did all of this just to create division and keep people arguing about things, just as how they do things today. You know, they have Donald Trump as the president, which makes a lot of people happy and makes a lot of people mad. They create, fake conspiracy groups like QAnon to get people to believe that Donald Trump is some type of savior, when in reality Donald Trump is really just part of the same entity or same cabal that is ruling over the world. And that being said, let's just look at Queen Elizabeth right away. Queen Elizabeth is the current monarch of Great Britain and so on. And if you type out her name in Gematria, Elizabeth II, it just so happens to equal 191. Just like Society of Jesus equals 191. And if you read out Queen Elizabeth II, her name equals 84. Just like how the word Jesuit equals 84, which is the Society of Jesus. And this is also interesting in regards to the United States and so on, because United States of America equals 84. The United States supposedly gained its independence from Great Britain when George III was the monarch, right? George III equals 84, and if you read out Revolutionary War, it equals 84. And to take it a step further, how I know this is important, if you go from Queen Elizabeth's birthday to the anniversary of the Jesuits, it just so happens to be 5 months and 6 days. And once again, if you write out Society of Jesus, notice how it also equals 56. And Royal Family equals 56. And King James Bible equals 56, right? Think about the Church of England, King James Bible, King James, the gunpowder plot where the Jesuits supposedly tried to kill King James, and much, much more. If you go back and look at the history of, when King Henry VIII created the Church of England, it was because Pope Clement VII wouldn't let him get a divorce to his wife, Catherine of Aragon. And this had much to do with the sack of Rome, and sack of Rome equals 56 in Gematria, and it happened on the date of 5/6 in the year 1527, and what happened in this was that Charles V had sacked Rome, basically, and Pope Clement, he was scared of Charles V after the sack of Rome, because Charles V, the Holy Roman Emperor, just so happened to be the nephew of Catherine of Aragon, who was the wife of King Henry VIII. So Pope Clement didn't want to allow the divorce to happen, right? Because the nephew of his wife had just sacked Rome on 5/6, and sack of Rome equals 56. And would you believe that Pope Clement just so happens he also died at the age of 56? And this is interesting, because the Jesuits weren't formed yet, but the Jesuits were formed in the year 1534, and they were also formed in Paris, France, right? Paris, France equals 56. And think about recent times with Paris, France, ISIS equals 56, and a whole lot more, but those Paris, France also equals 239 in these Francis Bacon ciphers. And that's important because Society of Jesus also equals 239. And so does Illuminati. Illuminati equals 239 in these ciphers. And think about how the Scottish Rite of Freemasonry was founded in Paris, France, and how the Jesuits were also founded in Paris, France, and how the Illuminati supposedly has ties in the French Revolution. But anyway, moral of the story. What are the odds? Queen Elizabeth, her birthday is 5 months and 6 days before the Jesuit anniversary. And it's even more interesting because the date of 421, if you look at 421, it's believed to be the day that Romulus and Remus founded Rome, right? Romulus and Remus supposedly founded Rome on the date of 421, which is Queen Elizabeth's birthday. And in satanic gematria, Rome just so happens to equal 191, just like Society of Jesus equals 191, right? Rome equals that. Romulus and Remus equals 191 in gematria. And to further put this into perspective into the United States, Washington, D.C. just so happens to equal 187. And if you've noticed, and also 56, but if you've noticed, Society of Jesus equals 187, 56. Look at George Washington. George Washington equals 187. Also 239. These numbers important to, the Jesuits. This is also why JFK was supposedly assassinated in the 187th year of the United States, and he was the first Catholic president, first and only right now, because Joe Biden is going to be the next president, supposedly, right? I think he will be. I don't think Donald Trump's going to come back and take it over somehow. It's just part of the QAnon type thing, that they want people to believe, but we'll see what happens. But, JFK was the 35th president, right? And he died at the age of 46, and he met the Pope 35 days after his 46th birthday, and then he was assassinated later that year, and now we have Joe Biden, who is also Catholic. He's going to be the 46th president, 35, 46, Catholic, all throughout history. That's how Catholic also equals 145 and 71, and the current Pope is Jorge Bergoglio, who equals 145 and 71, and Vatican City equals 71, Knights of Columbus equals 71. Remember when Princess Diana, she equals 132 and also 84, and she died 132 days after Queen Elizabeth's 71st birthday. What are the odds of that, right? 132 days after Queen Elizabeth's 71st birthday. Remember, Catholic equals this. Catholic Church equals 132. And just like United States of America, just like how England equals 132, United States of America equals 132, Catholic Church equals 132, Roman Catholic equals 132. Princess Diana's birthday was 7-1 even, right? Catholic, 71. The House of Windsor that Queen Elizabeth is currently in, right? When she dies, it will be a different house. Look at all these connections to the Jesuits. 191, 187, 243, 239, House of Windsor. It was established on 7/17 of 1917. 7/17/17. And it's interesting because Prince Charles, who was Queen Elizabeth or Princess Diana's husband before they got divorced, his birthday just so happens to be 7 months and 17 days before 7/1. And after they got divorced, he married Princess Camilla, who was born on 7/17. In regards to 132, if you go from the Jesuit anniversary to the day that Queen Elizabeth became the queen in the year 52, it just so happens to be 132 days later. So she became the queen 132 days after the Jesuit anniversary, right? Once again, this number connected to the Catholic Church. This is also the day that the founder of the Illuminati died, Johann Adam Weishaupt, 2-6, right? And if you look up him, he was trained by Jesuits growing up and so on, right? And of course, he died 201 days after the founding of the Illuminati. And, 201. We've talked all about this year with Event 201. That was, had a coronavirus outbreak simulation that was 56 days before the first coronavirus outbreak, or the first case was traced to eventually. Coronavirus equals 56, toilet paper 56, Anthony Fauci 56, Anthony Fauci went to a Jesuit university, Donald Trump went to Fordham University, which is a Jesuit university. That's why he had his national convention on 18/7, just after the Cleveland Cavaliers won the NBA Finals on the real King James's birthday. And LeBron's nickname is King James, and the Cavalier is a follower of King Charles, who was the king during the English Civil War and the son of King James, right? 18/7 though, Donald Trump, that was 187 days before Pope Francis's birthday. Pope Francis, the first admitted Jesuit pope. He was born on a date numerology of 84. Donald Trump then became the president 187 days later. Think about it. Once again, Washington, D.C., 187. George Washington, 187. Look at Adolf Hitler even, 187. And he released, and 56, right? He died in April. April also equals 56. But he released Mein Kampf in Germany on the date of 18/7, right? July 18th. And in Germany, they'd write it as 18/7. But in regards to Adam Weishaupt dying 201 days after his birthday, this is what I was trying to get to, but look at the current pope, Jorge Mario Bergoglio, 201. And instead of staying where the other popes stay, he decided to stay in room 201 at the Vatican guest house, and that's where he lives. It's called the Domus Sanctae Martae. I'm not going to try to type it out because I don't remember how to spell it. If you type that out, it equals 201 in Gematria, right? So, there's an absolute thing going on here. And let me pull up one of my posts here. I'm trying to think. A few other ones I forgot to mention in regards to this are, trying to think what I was going to write here. The word Freemason equals 191 in these Francis Bacon ciphers. And also Church of England just happens to equal 191 in the Francis Bacon ciphers, right? Just like Society of Jesus. So Church of England. It's interesting because Pope Paul III, the Pope after Pope Clement, who died at the age of 56 and so on, he just so happened to be the Pope who fully excommunicated King Henry VIII. This guy fully excommunicated King Henry VIII. And he's also the Pope who approved the Jesuits in the year, whatever it was, 1540, right? So he approved the Jesuits on 9/27 of 1540. He's also the guy who fully excommunicated King Henry VIII. He's the 220th Pope. And if you write out Paul III and these Francis Bacon ciphers, his name just so happens to equal 220. And this is a number I've talked about a lot with the Jesuits, right? Because Pope Francis's birthday is 2 months and 20 days after the Jesuit anniversary. It's also 81 days. Think about how Pope Paul died at the age of 81. And, Donald John Trump equals 220 in these, or in Gematria. So does Prince Charles. He equals 220. So does London, England. London, England equals 220. Christopher Columbus's, try to spell it right here, Cristobal Colon, his Spanish name equals 220. And think about Queen Isabella, who was from Spain, who financed him and so on, right? Cristobal Colon, 220. He supposedly died 220 days after the anniversary of discovering America, too. Also, if you look at Christopher Columbus up, a lot of people believe that he died on Halloween. And if you go from Halloween to the day that he died, it just so happens to be a span of, or it's 201 days, right? So if he really did die on Halloween, he died 201 days after his birthday, or before his birthday, one or the other, I can't remember, but his death day and his birthday are separated by 201 days. Christopher Columbus, Catholic Church. Also, I can't remember if I mentioned this in the video, but, Christopher Columbus was financed by Queen Isabella I of Castile, and Queen Isabella's daughter was Catherine of Aragon, who was the first wife of King Henry VIII. And King Henry VIII just so happens to equal 191, right? Like Society of Jesus. King Henry VIII. King Henry VIII was actually a devout Catholic until this time where he couldn't get this divorce, right? And a lot of it had to do with how Catherine of Aragon was married to his brother, and so on, right? So it was kind of like he shouldn't have got married to her to begin with, and so on. But what are the odds his name equals 191, like the Society of Jesus? And there's lots of interesting connections. And it's not just the Jesuits, it's the Catholic Church in general, because a lot of this was before the Jesuits were even established, but it's still connected to these same numbers, which makes me think that there's something even deeper than the Jesuits. Maybe there's more to understand. And right now we're all about the Jesuits and so on, but I feel like there's something deeper. There's something more to learn in regards to how the Jesuits are synced up to more of the Catholic Church and whatnot. But regardless, the Jesuits are somehow important to this big narrative in relation to the Catholic Church, in relation to the royal family. I'm going to make the video short. I have to work in a little while, or a few hours, but I want to end it on I don't know if I made a video on this, but I know I blogged about it a long time ago, but when Prince Charles, he supposedly got coronavirus earlier this year on March 25th, which was 132 days after his birthday, and it's also 132 days before Meghan Markle's birthday on August 4th, 8-4, right? And, of course, Prince Harry was born in the year 84, and Meghan Markle is all about the number 216, August 4th, 216th day, and a whole lot more, but if you write out 216, it equals 84. Princess Diana's 84, Queen Elizabeth II equals 84, Jesuit equals 84, Prince Harry has a relationship with Obama equals 84, Obama's also born on 8-4, but, Prince Charles also got coronavirus 5 months and 6 days before the death day of Princess Diana. And this year, it just so happened to be the 244th day of the year, during the 244th year of the United States. And in Gematria, if you write out King Charles III, which he would become if his mother would die, it equals 244. So, it's interesting there. She also died in Paris, right? Think about Paris, once again, and the connections to 56 and whatnot. But, King James in Gematria also equals 35. Just like how the word Catholic equals 35. And I hear a lot of people always talk about how King James became a Freemason at the age of 35. But if you actually look at the days, the date that he became a Freemason and the date of his birth, he was only 34 years old. So I'm confused why all over the internet, when you search for that, I'm not confused because it makes sense. Catholic 35 and King James equals 35, so it makes sense for him to become a Freemason at the age of 35. But if you compare the dates, it's actually only 34 years and so many days, so just interesting. But I don't know. I'm just going to leave it there. Just wanted to make a short video and show some connections to the royal family and the Jesuits, and because, they're absolutely related. And even if you go back to the history of it, it's connected to the royal family, King Henry VIII not getting his divorce, and of course you got the gunpowder plot. Even if you look at the Jacobites, I'm not going to go into it, but, King James II was a Catholic, and then, you know, there's a Charles of, I believe it's his son, there was a Charles, could be wrong, but look at the Jacobites, and you'll find some interesting things in regards to the Jesuits and the Catholic Church, and how it all relates to the royal family. So they're definitely related, and Queen Elizabeth is really, really synced up to all of this, all of the Jesuit stuff, so I guess it's fitting that she would be the queen right now. The day that she became the queen is also 2/6, like I said, which is 132 days after the Jesuit anniversary. And Charles II, King Charles II, let me find it here. Here it is, but he also died on the date of 2/6, which means his brother James II should have became the king on 2/6, right? 2/6, a Catholic, perfect day. There's a whole lot more I go into, even, you know, I really want to end this video, but King Henry VIII, his coronation was on 6/24, and that's a humongous number I've talked about with Prince Charles and possibly becoming King Charles III, right? King Charles III equals 6/24. Prince Charles's birthday is 6 months and 24 days after or before Queen Elizabeth's birthday. Modern Freemasonry was founded on this day. In the English extended cipher, the word Jesuit also equals 6/24. You know, this day's important, you know, it's also the feast day of John the Baptist, and synced up to the angel Gabriel. 6/24. I'm just going to leave it there, but, you know, Bobby pointed out to me too, I forgot about this, but in the English extended cipher that I've been recently following, I didn't want to go too off topic on this video, but the word Catholic equals 314 like pi. It's something I've been following a lot if you watch my previous videos, so it's definitely interesting, you know. Inauguration Day, he said, is also 35 days before 2/24, which is another thing I've been following a whole lot, 224, and how it's connected to pi, so. But I'm going to quit rambling. I really need to go to bed, so. Here's a little video about the Jesuits royal family. Have a good one. Peace.